Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum girls. I hope you all are fine. You all are doing well. As we already had a lecture in the class about the environment, okay. So in that we did few activities in which we have done little things to just brainstorm the concepts which we know already about the environment or the environmental science and the environmental problems. So now coming towards the actual syllabus, okay, so the actual content. So first of all, introduction to the environment. So environment जो word है, ठीक है, that is derived from a French word जो कि मैं आपको बाद में खैर बताती हूँ, but आप में से वो लोग जो कि they were not present in the last class, they all should just close their eyes and just imagine of the environment, okay. Just pause the video and just imagine and then write on your notes that what comes first in your mind when you think of the environment. So, when we did this activity in the class, few said that uh, pollution and smoke and the what polluted water comes in our mind. Some people said that a waterfall and the butterflies, and some people said that the kind of climate change and global warming, these issues come to our mind. Okay, so yes, these all things are actually connected to the environment. Some things are the problems, some are the biotic factors, some are the abiotic factors. We will cover all these things, but it is just to engage you to do this activity and just uh, see your prior knowledge, okay. Then we have done another activity. We did another activity in the class that was about the I grouped you all in 4 groups. So those who have not attended that class, they can do it now, okay, on their notebooks. So what was that about? Okay, you all have to just list down the rough idea about the environmental problems, you know, that could be around the world, and that could be in your town, that could be in your country, okay, anywhere. So all the environmental problems which you think they can be environmental problems, so just pause the video and do that. And please do that, because that will be really helpful for you, because then you will know that yes, I do know about the environment very much. That is not a new thing to me, okay. What you will do in this subject, you will just know the causes, the reasons, the sciences behind that. So just pause the video and list down as many problems as comes to your mind, and take just 5 minutes to 2 minutes and list down all of them, okay. So coming back, as you all have listed down all the environmental problems, okay, they can be climate change, global warming, pollution, any kind of pollution, okay, and you would have written the other natural disasters like the earthquakes and the volcano eruptions and the floods, landslides, avalanches, okay, and the torrential rains and the less frequent rains, the droughts, okay. And many of you would have written very different kind of things, as one of the group in the BS English class, they wrote the things like the unhygienic food because of the pesticides contamination, okay, and these kind of things, and the diseases to the human beings, and they wrote many very beautiful and very technical things. So I was very impressed with them, because because it it actually justifies their observation, their way of thinking, and pursuing the environment as the importance, as a very important thing, okay, in our lives. So that was all about the some activities which you should have done before starting the lecture. Now coming towards the environment. Okay, girls. First of all, I would like to say that in your pre-recorded lectures, you will have your lecture book with you, okay, with a pen and with your markers, everything. Just pause the thing, pause my video, and write things whatever you want to write. Okay, I will your class timing is the duration is about 50 minutes, but I will give the lecture of about 40 to 35 minutes, so the 15 to 10 minutes will be for you to write things, okay, which I will say to clear your concept. And this is very important. I really suggest you, I strongly suggest you to write down the things all the time in all the lectures. They will really help you in the future if you will apply for CSS, and they will also help you in the activities, in your projects, and also in your examinations. So first of all, what is environment? Environment. The environment is the sum of the total of the elements, factors, and conditions in the surroundings, which may have an impact on the development, actions, or survival of an organism or group of organisms, such as we human beings. Okay, so whenever you make a definition, everyone can make a definition, okay, that is not that technical task. So what you have to do, just simply think of that thing, okay, and then write down some key words about its characteristics, whatever you know, and then just line them up and make a sentence. It's very easy, okay. So here, what are the keywords? As you can say here, it is a sum of the total of elements, factors, and conditions. Okay. So all the elements, all the factors, and all the conditions. Like, what are the elements? I will the elements, the factors, and the conditions. We will do that in very detail in the future, but let me just give you a glance of it. So when we talk about the sum of the elements means all the elements which are involved in your surrounding, okay. uh, what can be these elements? Like, you can see the human beings, okay, the non-living things, the living things, your food, your books, anything which is around you. These are the elements, okay, which affects you. Then are the factors. Factors can be of two types, like the biotic factors and abiotic factors. And there can be other factors, okay, the like under these biotic, that is living, and abiotic, that is non-living, there can be many factors which can affect or which can be present in your surrounding. Number third thing is the conditions. Conditions are things like, the conditions in your surrounding, like the humidity, like the dryness, the heat, the temperature, the coldness, okay. So these kind of conditions, and also the psychological conditions, okay, they also affect your environment. So all these things, the sum of these things which are present in your surroundings, and they would have impact, okay, they would have impact on the development, actions, or survival, okay. So as you know, development means enhancing something from one stage to a better stage, okay. Action is whatever you do, okay, whatever others do, whatever you do with the others, whatever others do with you. So these all are actions, whatever we act. And then the survival, that is the important thing, to survive, okay, to because the most important thing about environment is it really affects your, it is the most important thing which affects your survival. If your environment is favorable, if it is favoring yourself, then that will be a good environment, okay. So the survival of an organism or group of organisms, okay, they can be animals, they can be humans, they can be plants, algae, fungus, anything, okay, everything has its own environment. Okay, another definition is it can also be defined as external surrounding and conditions which directly or indirectly affects the living organisms. Okay, that is a very simple one. Like these are the external surroundings and the conditions, okay, which directly or indirectly affects the living things. Acha. Now let's say okay, we are talking about the external surrounding and conditions. Okay, that is understood. External surrounding means all the living and non-living things surrounding us, and the conditions I've told you. Then they affect us directly or indirectly. So what's the difference between these two? The direct impact and the indirect impact. Number one thing, the direct impact is um, suppose there is a condition of heat, okay, we are in the month of suppose August start, okay, so that will be a monsoon kind of season that is very humid, very hot, your sweats do not dry, and these things, okay. So in which this will affect you directly. How? Just pause the video and write that how these high temperatures and high humidities can affect you. So yes, if you have written the heat strokes, the low BP, etc., these things are correct. Very good. And then comes the indirect effects. Okay, the indirect effects can be like your crops, like you're a farmer, okay, and your crops have been dried out, or they due to the torrential rain, okay, they have just like wiped out, etc. So this will affect their food, the farmers food, the farmers business, okay, your food as well. So that will be an indirect effect. Other than that, the increase in the smog, increase in the that acid rains, etc., these are all the other indirect effects which the this high temperature cause, and then it affects directly to you, okay. So the word environment is derived from a French word environner, that means encircle or surround. Okay. Okay, girls, I will not provide you all these lectures, so you have to just write down all the important things in your notes. So, all the biological and non biological things surround an organism are thus included in the environment. So, environment is the sum of water, air, and land interrelationships among themselves, also with human beings, other living organisms, and their property. So, how it affects your property, we will discuss that in the smog, acid rains, and global warming lecture in detail. Okay. So just see this. So what is our target? Our target is the environment. Okay, all the living and non-living things. You can see here, this is one kind of environment that can be woodland, okay, with lots of, you can see the different variety of plant species. If you are tall, if you are the ground strata, and there will be many birds, okay, a variety of birds, the animals which will feed on the grazers which will feed on the grasses, the browsers which will feed on the tree leaves, etc. So there is a whole community, okay, and around a community, the surrounding things, all the factors, elements, and conditions called as the are called as their environment. You can also see here, this is another season in the Australia, that is the which season? Yes, exactly. That is the autumn. Okay. So in the autumn, the maple leaves they shade greatly, like they shades from green to yellow to orange to red and then brown, and then they fell off. So these all things, the beautiful nature, the mother nature, these things come to our environment. So girls, what you have to do before this lecture, you will, as I said, write just one thing which comes to your mind when you listen of the word environment. Then secondly, list on all the environmental problems which you already know before starting this lecture, okay? Before going further. And then, as I have told you about the environment, the definition of environment, and the I have cleared your concepts about the environment. So now you will create your own definition about the environment, okay? And then I will check this definition in the class. And those who have done all these three tasks, especially the last one, okay, then that means that they have attended my lecture, and then they will be marked as present in their pre-recorded lectures, and those who haven't done this homework, they will not be marked present. So here comes a definition which I made myself, that is, environment is dynamic, it is always changing. So the circumstances, conditions, biotic and abiotic factors that surrounds an organism or group of organisms, as well as the complex of social or cultural conditions that affect an individual or community. Another one is environment is the sum of all the social, economic, biological, physical, or chemical factors in human surrounding. Okay. So now comes the environmental science. So what is environmental science? It is a multidisciplinary subject. Okay, that is a very important thing that you should know. So, environmental science can be defined in a number of ways. Environmental science deals with every issue that affects an organism. Okay, that is the simplest thing. Now, coming towards its multidisciplinary approach. So, what is basically the multidisciplinary thing? Okay, let me show you with the help of a figure. Yes, here it is. See, it is a multidisciplinary subject. Okay, environmental science. अब आप देखें, the ecology, it is one subject. Okay, so it has roots in the environmental science, biology, chemistry, atmospheric science, oceanography, geology, geography, archaeology, anthropology, sociology, history, political science, engineering, economics, ethics. Okay, and there are also many others. So these all have roots together to make one subject, that is environmental science. But what is the specificity? That is when we talk about the that these all things affects one organism or group of organisms. Okay, so a multidisciplinary approach that brings about an appreciation of our natural world and human impacts on its integrity. Okay, so the important thing here is that we we know about the value of our natural world. Okay, and we see that how humans impact its integrity, and how the nature is itself making these things. So another the definition is applied science that seeks practical answers to making human civilization sustainable on Earth's finite resources. So now the thing comes, what is sustainable? Okay, we will have a very detailed series of lectures on this thing, but let me just show you. Let me just write here, and then you will know what is sustainable. Okay. Wait, I have pasted a picture in the in a slide here, which is yes, here. So you can see sustainable. When we talk about sustainable living, it is It is any development, okay, or any activity which should be environmentally viable, or environmentally friendly, economically feasible, and socially bearable, okay. So these three factors combine to make a sustainable thing. Environment as a whole, like as we talk about just the physical or the biological environment, okay, it if we only care about the physical and biological environment, only about the nature, then things do not like work out, okay, because the we need our economic development as well. Human needs development, they need better things, a better lifestyle. Also the society needs things which should be bearable for them, okay. So these three things, they combine to make a sustainable thing. Another thing is that, which I will write over here and you will write with me as well, sorry. Yeah. So when we talk about sustainable is passing on resources to our next generations without compromising or depleting their um, quality and quantity, okay. So that means like you have to pass all the resources which you have got from your ancestors in the same proportion with the same quality to your next generations, okay. So now you will know that what is environmental science about. It is the science which gives you the practical answers, okay. So to make the human civilization, the development, the economic development, the social development in such a way that the earth's finite resources, as all the resources are finite, okay, they all have to finish one day. So all the resources, they will be sustainable. So that is a very important thing. So now another task is you will make definition of environmental science as well, okay. So not only environmental science, but you will also create a definition of sustainability, whatever you know about the sustainability, okay. I have cleared your concept and now just choose the words and make it. Whether it is right or wrong, it doesn't matter, but the thing which matters is that what you have understood, okay. So the things like land, okay, the ecology, the wildlife, the ecosystems, the policies, forests, agriculture, sustainability, energy, economy, all these things, they all combine to form environmental studies or environmental sciences all together, okay. So now, what are the major root causes of major environmental problems? Now just see your list, okay. See just how many things you have written and how different they are from each other. And now I will teach you the major root causes of the major environmental problems, and you will see that how many like the problems which you have written, okay. So what is the root cause of that problems among these, okay. Suppose you have written yeah, suppose you have written the degradation of any environment or the deforestation, okay, the illegal cut down, etc. So what will be the reason or the root cause? That will be excluding environmental costs from the market prices, because the forest is free there, the forest wood is free, Nobody asks you about that. There is no price tags on them, so you just cut people just cut down it and they hurt the environment. Okay, so whether it is wrong or right, it doesn't matter, but I will clear your concept after that. But just point out all the root causes, or like with respect to your environmental each environmental problem you have written. Okay, so mark your each listed environmental problem with a specific root cause. Okay, that will be that you can see the five major root causes on the slide number 7. Okay, so first of all is the population growth. As you all know, the population is growing day by day. Okay, only the China and few other developed countries are setting obligations on the more and more children, newborn children. But the many countries, especially the Asia, which is a continent which is not much developed, like it is kind of intermediate, and then the Africa, which is a very less developed, okay, the underdeveloped continent. So in these areas, and in also many areas of America and the Europe, people want to have more and more children. Okay, so as the population is growing very rapidly, the what is the impact? The impact is they need more food, they need more resources, they need more shelter. Okay, so and the parents cannot do that. So what are the like major things? These are the unsustainable resource use. They just get the thing which they want and then they just consume it. They throw their wastes. Okay, they do not care about that, and it leads to the poverty as well. Like you have suppose earning of 100 rupee per day, and you have one child. Okay, so you will divide that 100 rupees on yourself, your wife, your parents and your children. Okay, so that will be 5 people, and you will divide the 100 amount. Okay, the 100 rupees, so that will be 20 rupees each person per day. Okay, that is the simple formula. But if you have more children, like suppose you have 6 children, so now you are total 10 people of home. So now each will get 10 rupees. Okay, that is half rupees, half resources. So as the population increases, the income resources they divides. Okay, I'm just talking about like within the town and within a home, so that divides. So what comes? The poverty. Okay, the because the people becomes poor and poorer and poorer, because they don't get the proper things, they don't get proper resources to maintain their lifestyles. Then excluding environmental costs from the market prices, that is a very important thing. We will do this in the environmental economics topic, but just let you just give its concept. Like we have all excluding the environment from the market. How? Like you go to the market and you will get all the things on prices, your clothes, okay, your home accessories, your food, like even a small powder of thing, the salt, the pepper, anything you will get on those things, even on the rupees, like on the money. Okay, but when you talk about the environment, you talk about the trees. Okay, you like the standing trees I'm talking about. Obviously when you cut the tree, it has a worth, like it can be used for timber or etc, for the furniture, for your homes, for your anything. But when it is standing on and in an ecosystem in the nature, and it has no value. Okay, so we should all like make markets for these, and there are hypothetical markets for the environmental goods. Alhamdulillah, the with the efforts of environmental scientists, we have now succeed to make that. So the thing is, like in many countries there are still no markets. Okay. So another thing is trying to manage nature without knowledge about it. Like environment subject is such a vast subject. It has so much technicalities, as you have seen, that it has roots of so many disciplines. So the person who is like climatologist or environmental scientist or any scientist, okay, which has the specialty in the environment, only he or she can uh, give proper answers, proper solutions to the environmental problems. Only he can or she can find out the or point out the specific causes. Okay, everyone cannot do that, and that is the main thing, the major environmental problem in the developed and underdeveloped countries. Like as we have in EPA, Peshawar EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. Okay, EPA. I will just write down here. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency of Pakistan. Okay, so I'm just talking about the Peshawar one. So in that, the our DG, the Director General, that is not an environmental scientist. He is just, I guess, the agriculturist. Okay, then we have many other staff under him. They are engineers, they are foresters, they are not environmental scientists. They do not understand the specific problems and the networks of problems and the webs, okay, and the technicalities and complexities of the problems. So that is a major thing. So now you will what you will do, that the list of the environmental problems which you have written, you can mark the environmental causes with them. And if you think that you have written a very unique thing and these all are not causes behind them, okay, you can write your own cause. I will just see and will let you know that is it correct or not. So, what are the root causes of the environmental problems? There are some other which are very generalized. Human population is growing too quickly, okay, it's too fastly. So the environment cannot handle it. Example is garbage. As I've told you, that more and more people means more and more resource use and more waste. And when more and more waste, that means no waste collection, okay, open dumping if not managed. But if managed, then it can be the even the waste can be a useful resource. I'll tell you how in the later lectures. So people are wasting, using up, and polluting the natural resources faster than they can be replaced or renewed or cleaned up. I will give a detailed lecture on the natural resources. They are of two types: those which can replenish or which can renewed, and those which cannot. As you can see, the air is freely available, the water is freely available. They can be renewed, okay. But there are things which cannot, like the metals, okay. You can see the gold and there are also things like coal which can renew, which can replenish, but with a very slow rate, like they take millions of years, okay. So every natural resource has its own rate of replenishing, whether they have or they not, okay. So if people, due to the larger population, they keep on wasting it, utilizing it and then polluting it, then they can, with the like faster than the rate they can be replenished, then obviously that's a problem. So what will be the results? The results will be malnutritioning, starvation, diseases, droughts, okay, these kinds of problems. So these are just general environmental problems. As you can see there is a drought, but versus the lush green grasses. So what can be the causes? You can like list down the in the drought and then the root cause. Then I will check and then I will let you know. Then is the industrial pollution, okay, the which are causing air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, the dryness due to the, this can be due to deforestation, etc. And this is the water pollution, the coastal water pollution, okay. So now comes the components and scope. what are the components of environmental science? I've told you, okay, all these, like I've said, the biotechnology, the philosophy, psychology, law, statistics, and toxicology, health, okay, they were not in this picture, but you can include all of them. So now comes the scope of environmental science. What is the scope? As you all know that it has a very large scope, okay? Because it is related to us, it is related to our mother nature, it is related to our livelihoods, our children, okay, our food. So the scientific developments lead to technological innovations to accelerate economic growth. But what happened due to them, like use of pesticides and fertilizers, the agriculture, no doubt, it enhanced, but the result was environmental degradation. Those pesticides, they stick to the food, and when we eat it, then we get all those complex chemicals inside us, and it causes various hormonal issues, cancers, and many things. Also, when we talk about the environmental degradation, let's talk about the physical degradation as well. Um, the When it rains, okay, the and yeah, okay, when it rains, the runoff water from the fields, it goes to the river or canal or lakes or any ponds, okay, which are used for irrigation. So what happens, these complex chemicals, they go to the water bodies and they become part of it. They make even more complex chemicals over there, and fish and plants of that aquatic body, that water body, they ingest them, and then they become diseased. Also, when we spray the pesticides and fertilizers, what happens, they also cause the air pollution, okay. So the extensive consumption of natural resources result in rapid depletion, as I have already told you. So sustainable utilization and sustainable development is inevitable to fulfill our requirements. Unsustainable utilization due to overuse of resources, rapid population growth, and consumption orientation of society is thus potentially threat to the environment. Okay, so there are many basic environmental issues which can be like which you can see are contributing to the development of this subject. So the last thing, that is the why environmental science emerged as a subject. So, factors that contribute to the growth of this subject or development of this subject. There were many incidences like the oil production in the 2019 after the World War. The Japanese killed many whales of the oceans. Okay, and also the Black Day of the in the UK, etc. There were many things. Okay, one of them was the acid rain of Los Angeles, which was too acidic that it can be compared to the acetic acid, that is the vinegar. Okay, just imagine that vinegar is falling as rain on you. And then one happened in the UK, which was the pH of almost lime juice. So I am very sensitive to lime juice, seriously. When it drops, just drip on my hand or my skin, it irritates so much. So just think that what it would have done, like when it would be raining. Okay, so things like that, the many other phenomena and many other events like these, they led to led the all the environmental scientists and other scientists to think about they all thought like why these things are happening again and again. Okay, and the main reason was number one, the World War One and Two, and the second thing was the industrial development, the industrial revolution. Okay, and the third thing was agriculture revolution. So let me write over here: World War World War I, sorry, World War I, World War II, okay, Industrial Revolution and Agricultural Revolution. So due to all these things, what happened, that potential increase in the demand, like the population increased, that potential increase in demand, increase in energy crisis, economic problems, inflation and poverty, the rapid depleting resources. Okay, so the need of environmental studies. The earth was changing from this state to this state. Okay, the development was just crushing the environment and the nature. You can see that the level of poverty, like it is so sad. Like people, the children, they are eating things from the garbage. Like we should be very thankful to Allah that He has not put us in this situation. Look at this economic setup, like how these people are living. They are living in these things, and you can see the, like, due to climate change and global warming, how they would have, like, bearing the heat, the temperatures, the torrential rains, the storms. There is no security for them. So these all problems, they led to the emergence of this subject, that is environmental science. So I think enough for this lecture. In the next lecture, we will finish this intro to environment and environmental science, and then we will go towards its multidisciplinary nature. In that, you will see that how, like, how many issues can be solved by looking at the other sciences, and how many problems can be identified when we look at the physics, like the environmental physics, environmental chemistry, environmental toxicology, etc. So up till now, we are done with this. This is slide number 14. You can read that, you can take your notes, because I will not share these slides. And make sure you all have done this exercise at your homes, because I will check and then I will mark your presence on the basis of these exercises. So till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.